All right, welcome everyone. Sit up straight and tall. Go ahead and turn the soles of the feet up toward the ceiling. Turn your calves up toward the ceiling and externally rotate your legs. So all of that's setting up Padmasana actions that we'll work on a tiny bit today. Right. Then press the tops of the feet down into the floor and energetically lift your ankles up. And that two movements of the feet themselves should result in you feeling some firmness coming into the hips. And then the more you see if you can turn your legs again and get a little bit more release in the groin. And then keeping the outer hips firm, lengthen up through the side ribs. Make yourself as tall as you can from the pelvis, through the waist, through each individual rib. Make yourself tall. Keep that height in the side ribs as you roll your shoulder bones back. Bring your shoulder blades closer together on your back, away from the neck and into the center of the body and up a little bit so you feel your chest lift both in the center and out to the sides. The other day I was actually thinking about it because it's almost like a cone shape, or like there's a ice cream cone inside of your chest. And at the base of the shoulder blades is the tip of the ice cream cone, and it moves outward toward the edges of the collarbones. And then you could imagine your head being like the scoop of ice cream that's on top of the ice cream cone. I don't know why that new image just came to me recently. Maybe it's thinking about ice cream and all of the holiday barbecuing and everything that we used to do. All right, then lift your chest well and close your eyes and fold your palms together to your heart. Use your thumbs and lift the sternum up a little bit more, and as you do that, you should feel your trapezius muscles release away from the back of the neck. For me, it's a very soothing sensation, and it makes my eyes want to close a little bit more and start that inward journey from the outer world toward the inner world, that inner landscape of you, the domain of yoga. Use your exhalations to take your awareness there. Oh, just realized I didn't. Keep observing your inhalations and observing your exhalations. I'm going to put the other camera on. Hold on a second. As you inhale, make yourself taller from the tailbone all the way up through the head. Keep that height, and as you exhale, move the prana, or the energy of your breath, outward toward your side ribs and armpits. Inhale, make yourself tall. Keep that height. Exhale, make yourself broad. Inhale, extend yourself. Exhale, expand yourself. Use the breath to create additional inner spaciousness, and then turn your awareness from the inhalation and the exhalation to the exhalation itself. So you're following that exhalation with your mind. With each successive exhalation, just move more deeply in. And then from that still space within, let's chant 3 Ams together. Follow that sound with your mind. Follow the reverberation of the sound with your mind. And from that space, inhale once more. Keeping your chest well lifted and broad, bring your chin down to your chest and your hands down to your thighs with your palms up. And then raise your head and open your eyes. So I've got my right leg in front and my left leg behind me. You may have the same, you may have different. But what we're going to do now is move from Swastik Asana to a pose that's similar to Tadasana. We haven't done it in a while. It's called foot on foot. Right? So whatever leg you have behind, you're going to move that one out. And then, so that makes the heel or the perineum be a little bit, heel be right by the perineum. And then you're going to take your other foot that was in front and put the little toe side of the foot up on the arch of the foot. I'm actually going to slide off of my blankets as I do that. And then when you sit in this position that I call foot on foot, what it does is the kind of pressure of the foot on the heel helps you get more length across the pelvic region. Right? Now do the same actions with your feet, is that press the little toe side of the foot down into whatever it's touching on, but energetically lift your ankles up. And as you do that action, you should feel a little bit more firmness come into the outer hips and a little bit more of a release coming into the groin. All right, now what you're going to do is pick up the foot that's on top, wiggle your other foot back to where it was, and just see if you can come into half Padmasana. We'll work toward Padmasana later in the class, but just see how half Padmasana is going right now. Same thing, see if you can push the feet down into the floor and energetically lift the ankles up, and you'll feel that firmness come into the outer hips and hopefully a release coming into the groin. Right. Stretch your arms out in front of you, interlace your fingers, and turn your palms toward me. Keep it lifting your outer ankles up as you extend from your elbows through your wrist bone and reach your arms up. If this bothers anyone's knees, you can just go back to foot on foot, or you can stay in the Swastik Asana. Okay? Then let your sitting bones stay down onto the floor as you lift up through the side ribs, through the armpits, all the way up through the elbows into the wrists. Make yourself tall in this Baddha Konasana. Then maintain that height as you bring your arms down, switch the grip of your fingers, and turn your palms toward me again. And check back in at your legs. Press the tops of the feet down and energetically lift the ankles up. You'll feel that firmness come into the outer hips. Maintain that as you reach your arms all the way up above your head. And then extend from the elbows through the wrist bones so you feel that upward movement of the arms actually making the sides of the body longer and longer and longer. And then release and come down. And then you're going to slide out to foot on foot again. Yeah. And then just sneak your legs into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. And go ahead and work with the little toe side of the foot pushing together and open the tops of the feet. And you'll feel even more width come into the groin as you create that firmness in the outer hips by pressing the little toes. And then bring the outsides of the knees together and stretch your legs out into Tadasana. I'm going to try and fix my setup a little bit here. Press your big toes against each other. And move your other toes wide apart like we've been working on in class. Our classes lately. All right, that looks better to me. All right, and then we got to do the second side. So from Tadasana, whichever leg you brought in first, you're bringing the other leg in. So for me, that's going to be my right leg, but it'll look like my left leg. Yeah. And then come into Swastik Asana. Use your hands and turn those soles of the feet up toward the ceiling, turn the calves up toward the ceiling, and turn your thighs from the inside out. I think everyone's knee is okay here. If it's not, you can just be in Tadasana. But really worked, what I'm after in all of these seated positions is getting the sense that the actions of the feet are what really give us the firmness in the outer hips. And when we have the firmness in the outer hips, we get more release in the inner groin. Also, that work of the base is really what creates the lift that comes into the chest as well. Okay. So press the tops of the feet down into the floor and energetically lift the ankles up, and you should feel that firmness coming into the outer hips. Lengthen up through your side ribs and roll your shoulder bones back. Shoulder blades in, away from the neck, and into the center of the body and up a little bit so you really feel that ice cream cone in the center of the body. Okay, so now the leg that's in behind, you're going to move it out to the side and turn the foot even more. And I'm going to slide off my blankets because I don't need the height in this particular thing. And it's like a Siddhasana foot. Yeah. But instead of doing Siddhasana with the other foot, you're actually going to put it up on top of the arch of the foot. Okay, now similar actions with the legs that are the feet. Instead, you aren't pressing the tops of the feet down into the floor here, but you're pressing the little toe side of the foot down and energetically lift your ankles up. That action of the feet should give you a feeling of firmness in the outer hips and a corresponding length or opening in the groin. So this is foot on foot. And you can also lengthen from that inner groin to the inner knee. Right, so this is giving you even more space, so hopefully Padmasana or half Padmasana will come more readily. So you're going to slide your bottom foot back like it was doing Swastik Asana. And then see if you can bring your other foot all the way up on top of the little toe side of the foot. Sorry, on the top of the thigh. Okay, so here's Ardha Padmasana. Now, same thing, press the tops of the feet down into the floor and energetically lift the ankles up. So you feel some firmness come into the outer hips and a release come into the groin. Now reach your arms out and hook one thumb over the other thumb and pull your thumbs against each other as you stretch your fingers toward the screen. And then keep pulling your thumbs against each other as you reach your hands all the way up. And feel that difference in sensation in the shoulders. I feel a lot of release across the top of the shoulder blades in this particular arm stretch. And bring your hands down, check back in at your legs, press the feet down, and energetically lift the ankles up to feel that firmness come into the outer hips. And that grounds the extension of the sides of the ribs, the armpits, all the way up through the elbows and the fingers as you lift up. Lift up so much so you can actually feel your abdomen draw in and up as well. And you may feel that even more in the half Padmasana than the other seated positions. All right, maintain that height in the side ribs and bring your hands down. All right, then we're going to kind of retrace the steps, go back into foot on foot. All right. And then from foot on foot, slide your legs into Baddha Konasana. Do the Baddha Konasana where you let the soles of the feet be open and press the little toe side of your foot very firmly together to get that same sensation of feeling firmness in the outer hips. Then place your hands on the outside of your knees, bring your legs together, and then stretch your legs out into Tadasana again. Okay, now we're gonna do Supta Padangusthasana, and I want you to have a strap and a block handy. Yeah. All right, so Supta Padangusthasana, I'm gonna switch the camera. Supta Padangusthasana, just lay down on the floor. If you have your feet, and if you have a wall, you can put your feet against the wall, okay? And that'll give you a little bit more ability to feel the grounding action, let's say, of the legs. Okay, let me get this set up. I'm not going to use a wall because it's not quite the same. Okay, here I am up close and personal here. Okay, so I've got my strap. I'm laying down on the floor. I'm going to scoot a little bit more so you can see my feet. If you want to press your feet again into the floor, into the wall, you can. But this is called Supta Tadasana. And as you're here in Supta Tadasana, you should feel that there's some opening that comes in the front of the groin that we got from doing that first seated work. And then go ahead and do Supta Urdhva Hastasana. So extend from your inner knees through your inner heels, but also extend from your armpits through your fingers as you're here. And then keep that nice length that you got and bring your hands back down. And bring your right leg up. I want you to put the strap right on the arch of the, not on the arch of the foot, but where the arch and the heel come together. And then stretch that leg up straight. So your foot is not really flexed, it's actually kind of nicely pointed. Yeah. And then you should also do that with your bottom foot. So if your foot is against the wall, you may just want to scoot back a little bit. So just the ball of the foot is pushing into the wall. Okay. Then spread your toes well, like we've been working on in all of our Dandasana actions. Okay. Keep your bottom leg pressing into the floor, and you're going to pull your right leg in closer to your torso. Then hold on to both parts of the strap with your hands. And as you exhale, let your elbows go out wide and see if you can move your forehead and your shin a little bit closer. And you do that by engaging the abdominal muscles. And then lower yourself back down. Then we're going to go over and do actually Parivrtta Supta Padangusthasana first. Okay, so you're going to roll all the way, second, we're going to roll all the way over onto the little toe side of your foot. Okay. And then your hips should be stacked right on top of each other. This is not working really well. Almost like they're still doing Tadasana. Okay. And in fact, you can take your right hand, put it on the outer facet of your right hip, and move the outer right hip away from your leg. And then stretch both of your arms out, just like you were doing Parivrtta Trikonasana, because it's really a laying down version of Parivrtta Trikonasana. So right now, my bottom leg, I'm on the little toe side of the foot, and my bottom leg is really doing something like Anantasana. Now, you're also, I think, on your bottom left leg. Now, what I want you to do is pull your right leg up a little closer to you, but move your left leg over to the right. So you're actually creating more of like a, almost like your legs are split apart. It's more like those of you who know the revolved Parivrita Ekapada Shirshasana. Yeah, it's really like your legs are doing that laying down. But then just see how changing that bottom leg actually changes the feeling of the twist as you're laying down. Okay. I get a little deeper twist when I move my leg back like this. Then I'm going to move it back to regular where it's in line with my torso and come back up to Supta Padangusthasana 1. Okay. All right, now you're going to bring your leg off to the side for Supta Padangusthasana 2. Make sure your left leg is still pressing into the floor. And then you're going to move your leg off to the side, and my giant foot is coming toward you. Move your abdomen from right to left. And then bend your knee, point your foot a little bit, and bring the leg again into half Padmasana. And then straighten your leg all the way back out to Supta Padangusthasana 1. And come back to Supta Tadasana and see if you can feel the difference in the right side, the leg, and the left side, which you just, and it should feel a little bit more mushed down toward the floor. All right, ready to do the second side?
Yeah, and just one question. The standing leg, you're on the balls of your feet, you're not on the whole foot? As if the foot was pointed?
Standing leg.
The standing leg is the leg on the floor.
Yeah, so if you actually look in Light on Yoga at the picture of him in Supta Padangusthasana, the foot really isn't flexed.
Ah, okay.
Actually pointed. So a lot of times we put the heels all the way at the wall to help people get the bottom leg to ground more. But if you actually look at his feet, and this is actually any time his feet are in the air, it's really more of a Virasana foot.
Okay, but also the foot that's not in the air.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's the first time I do it like that.
Yeah, and you can feel the difference actually. It just stretches the leg slightly differently. Like you can try really extending through the heel, and that does give you, actually everyone can just sit up and just try this. It's a good question. I'll try and I'll even get the book.
Well, the heel gives more back extension and the toes give more front extension.
Exactly. Exactly. That is exactly right. Yeah. But you know, it's kind of interesting to take a look at, you know, the book from time to time, because really almost any time Mr. Iyengar's legs are in the air, okay, his foot is really pretty pointed, like even like these fancy arm balances. Right? Yeah. I mean, that's the position of his foot. And so even if you like look at, well, any of them, but
it also engages the muscles of the legs more firmly.
It does. Yeah. So here is the pose that we're looking at. It's Supta Padangusthasana. Okay. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, his feet are pointed. Not like ballet pointed, but
no, dummy point. That's what we call it.
All right, so I think you can see my foot now. Okay, so why I like doing, I mean, the ball of the foot is good because it teaches you, I guess I would say, how to engage the legs, but you can see it actually kind of shortens my toes often. But if I move the strap, I know you can't see this really well because of my,
it's good, we can see it.
My skin being the same color as my work wall. But if I move my strap to the front of the arch of my foot, that actually helps me. First of all, it roots the femur bone more. But the other thing that it does is it makes it easier for me to get that shape of the foot. And then Yeah, I am doing the same thing with
Okay,
all
all
right. You can't see me.
Gotcha.
All right, so we got our second side to do, right?
Yes.
Supta Padangusthasana 1. All right. And then we're going to do all of these same things standing up. All right, so first you can just hold on with your left hand and pull your leg in a little bit. Then to get a little deeper in the pose, you're going to split the strap, keep your elbows out wide, push the top of the thigh down and move the pubis and the navel toward each other, and move your elbows out wide so the collarbone stays broad. And then just see, can you get your foot, sorry, not your foot, your shin and your chin closer to each other. All right, and then lower back down. That's Supta Padangusthasana 1. Now we're going to do the two different versions of Supta Padangusthasana 3, or Parvita Supta Padangusthasana. In the first one, you're going to roll over and you're going to be right on the little toe side of the foot. And you can just see my giant foot coming toward you. And you can see my toes spreading. And this one feels good. I like it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, it's one of my favorite poses to do. But I just recently learned this other variation of it just yesterday, taking a yoga class with the Iyengar Association, is that I'm on my right little toe side of my foot now. But if I move my right leg back toward my rope wall, okay, so it's on the opposite side of the sticky mat, and then I try and turn again, that gets me a little bit deeper twist right up in the middle part of my back and up to my upper back. That feels really nice. Then I'm going to go back to the regular one where on the little toe side of the foot, and I can feel a different release just from having changed my leg position. Okay? All right, then briefly go back to Supta Padangusthasana 1. And then you're going to move your leg out to Supta 2. And as you do that, move your abdomen from left to right. Feel that same broadness that comes across the pelvic bones that we got in our seated work. And then bend your knee. Again, you're just going to touch Padmasana, or half Padmasana. And then come all the way back up to Supta Padangusthasana 1. And then come down on the floor again. Okay, and then go ahead and sit yourself up and then stand up. And we're basically going to do that exact same sequence of work, except standing, right? So the Supta Padangusthasana, very similar. So even just, oh, that's not working. Even just stand in Tadasana. Okay. So Tadasana obviously is like Supta Tadasana, right? No big deal there. All right. There are a couple versions actually. We're going to actually do it two different ways. Okay, so get your two bricks from wherever they happen to be in your yoga room. Then from Tadasana, just turn your right foot out at about a 45-degree angle. Then take a giant step, turn your left foot out at a 45-degree angle and take a giant step forward with your right foot and put your hands down on these bricks. So this is the first stage of Parsvottanasana, right? And it should seem very similar to you because it's really just like Supta Padangusthasana 1. Turn to the side we can see better. Okay. So extend through the big toes, lift up through the quadriceps, lengthen from the pubis through the navel. And then remember when we bent our elbows and brought the forehead and the shin closer to each other. You can do that here too. You can lower your bricks or bring your hands down to the floor and let your elbows bend out wide. And you know what? Because I'm working with the gravity in a different way, my forehead is actually a lot closer to my shin here than it was when I was laying down in Supta Padangusthasana 1. Right. Then come back up to the concave stage of Parsvottanasana. Firm your hips, bring your legs up, and then stand again in Tadasana, a little bit away from your blankets. Sorry, from your blocks. Right, so now turn your left foot out about at a 45-degree angle, and then take a giant step forward with your other leg. Actually, I said that wrong. You should turn your right leg out now, and you'll have your, sorry, do your second side. I'm probably not mirroring you right now because I'm not facing you. So start off with a concave back position. So this is just like Supta Padangusthasana 1, when we're just trying to root the femur bone. But now we want to go a little bit deeper. So place your hands on the floor on lower bricks, move your elbows out wide. Extend from the pubis to the navel, just like you did sitting down, and you're going to bring your forehead to your shin. Then come back to the concave back position, and come all the way up, and then turn your feet and come all the way back into Tadasana. Okay, so Supta Padangusthasana 1, okay. Parsvottanasana. Okay. Then another pose that's very similar to that is Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Okay. So same thing, it's just that you're going to be standing on one leg. So I've moved back to the wall to have a little bit help and balance. Okay. You may need a strap because we're going to go for the full stage of the pose after a while. Okay. Okay, so press down into your left leg and lift your right leg up. Okay. Put the strap actually on that same place of the arch of the foot. Actually, everyone's going to use the strap. Okay. And then kick your foot out in front of you, holding on to the strap. I'll turn to the side so you can see that a little bit better. All right, so you're gonna lift your leg up high if you can. And then remember, to get the leg higher, we're gonna hold on with two hands, keep the elbows out wide, and see, can you bring your legs up to meet your forehead and your shin? That was the side view. If you can hold on to your foot and keep your legs straight, go ahead and do that. But the strap is actually nice. You can kind of actually pull up on the strap, and it helps keep the elbows out wider. Okay. So that's the final stage of Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Okay. And then bring the leg down and stand in Tadasana. I can actually feel that that really helped open the front groin on the left side a little bit more. Right, so now I have to do the same thing on the second side. Okay. So press down into your right heel, lift your left leg up, put the strap on that front of the heel, back of the arch, pull up with your hands, then kick your foot up higher than your knee. Really lift the leg up high. And then see if you can actually get a little higher. Pull with both hands, keep your elbows out wide, and as you bring your forehead up toward your shin up toward your forehead, you can bend a little bit down, but not a lot. It's really more lifting the leg up than it is bringing the torso down. All right. And then come all the way back and come into Supta Tadasana. All right. Nope, just regular Tadasana, sorry. All right, so remember so that's, everyone see the similarity, right? So you've got Supta Padangusthasana 1, Parsvottanasana, Utthita Ekapada, or Utthita Ekapada. All right, so the next pose that we did was we went over to the side and it was Parivrita, right? Okay. So that has a standing version too, that's called Parivrita Trikonasana. I'm just turning to the side so you can see a little bit better. We're gonna do it from Parsvottanasana. Okay. Then I'm gonna place my hand on my hip, move my hand over to the block on the little toe side of the foot, turn from the abdomen, from the wrists, and the collarbones, and then I'm gonna raise the arm up, okay? So we're all gonna do that. I'm gonna come up and take a look at you doing it, Parivrita Trikonasana. Okay, start off in Parsvottanasana. Good. Place your right hand on your right hip, move the hip back, extend through the side ribs, and then turn your torso. See, Ryan, you need to move your arm over to the outside of your front leg. Yep, like that. And And then everyone take your right hand and put it on your lower abdomen. Hi, Kristen, and hi, Ashwini, welcome. And then turn your lower abdomen, turn your ribs, turn your collarbone. And then if it doesn't hurt your shoulder to lift up, you can go ahead and lift your shoulder all the way up. Looks nice, everyone. And so we've got Parivrita Supta Padangusthasana, and here you've got Parivrita Parivrita Trikonasana, and then come all the way up. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. All right, so start off in Parsvottanasana. I'll just do it facing this way so you can see the opposite side. Okay, so I've got my left foot forward and my right foot back. I extend from the pubis to the navel, and I take my left hand and put it on my outer left hip. But then I move my right hand over to the brick that's on the outside of the little toe side of the foot of the left foot. And then I lengthen, turn and rotate the lower abdomen, middle abdomen, ribs, collarbones, then add the arms. Okay. All right, so do your second side. If you haven't already. Looks pretty good, everyone. Let's see. Try to straighten your front leg a little bit more. There you go, Cliff and Gay. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, that's fine, Cliff. If you balance-wise, if you have to move your hand over, it's totally fine. All right, good. All right, and then come out of the pose, and then stand in Tadasana. I think I got this figured out. Okay, this is one we haven't done in a long time. I mean, I used to teach it in person a lot, but it's a little harder to do on the computer. But just like there's Parivrita Supta Padangusthasana, then Parivrita Trikonasana, you also have a Parivrita standing on one leg. So Parivrita Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. You have a couple of options about what you can do. Okay? You can stand with your foot about a leg distance away from the wall. So you have balance here. Okay? And then from there, I'll just turn in the same way toward the screen. Okay? That's one way of working. The other way of working is that you can stand a little bit away from the wall so that you're a little bit more freestanding, and then when you bring the leg up, okay, hold on with the left hand, and then you can turn to the wall with your hand, okay? So you got two options, right? If you want to do this more freestanding version, stand about an arm distance away from the wall. If you want to do the one that has a little bit more support, you can stand and put your foot at the wall, okay? But either way, you're going to be standing on your left leg, and your right leg is going forward. Okay? It's either the right leg is either supported by the wall or not. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and do it with wall support. Push down into your right leg, lengthen up through your side ribs, keep Tadasana as much as you can, and then turn and rotate. Rotate your abdomen from the lower abdomen, from the ribs, from the collarbones, and then just like we did laying down in Parivrita Supta Padangusthasana, you can also stretch that arm out. Parivrita Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. And then release and come down. Stand in Tadasana, and you can regroup. It actually felt very good. I have the repetitions of the same actions in different orientations in space work slightly differently to open the body, but collectively they have a really great benefit because you're repeating the same actions over and over and over again. Okay, so ready to do your second side. So now you're going to swing your left leg up. This time I'm going to do my left leg. I got my left leg up. Well, it'll be my right leg so I can turn towards you. You lift the leg up, and then you turn. You either turn the lower abdomen, turn the ribs, turn the collarbones, and really stretch your arms out wide. Press down into the standing heel and lengthen up through the head, and then extend through the ball of the foot, just like you're doing in Supta Padangusthasana work as you're here in Parivrita Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. And then come all the way down. And then stand in Tadasana again. Okay. All right, so then we've got Supta Padangusthasana 2, okay, which we did. The standing version on 2 legs of that is basically Trikonasana. And then the 1 leg version is Parsvottanasana. Let's go ahead and do Trikonasana. You're going to stand with your feet out wide. We've been doing Trikonasana a lot, so this one's pretty known. I happen to have this belt in my hand. So if you want to come up and show, because I haven't been showing that lately, but here's the top of my pelvic bones. You can cross your belt and put it at the top of your pelvic bones, and that'll increase the release that you get on your groin when you're in when you're in Trikonasana. Okay, so if you want to use your belt cross, you're welcome to do it. All right, so stand with your feet out wide. Lift your quadriceps, move your buttocks down toward your heels, do that same toe spreading. Even if you're not using the strap, okay, just go ahead and turn your right leg. And what you can see when you do that is you see how my torso goes along with the leg. Okay. I don't want that to happen. What I really want to have happen is that my torso stays in Tadasana. And the bottom part of my torso are these pelvic bones. Okay. So when I turn my leg this time, I'm turning this way. Okay. So with this hand, I'm pulling on my pelvic strap and I spin on my heel to come into Trikonasana. And what I feel is that there's more release coming in that groin because my torso didn't go along with my leg. Now, when I go down, I have to actually pull on that pelvic strap even more because the tendency is when I go into Trikonasana is for the torso to tip down to the ground. So I'm really trying from that root of the pelvis to turn my torso so it stays as much as possible facing toward y'all. And I have to really firm that outer hip to keep on getting more and more release in that inner groin. And then come all the way up. Turn your feet back to the center. Do the experiment again. If you just turn your leg without thinking about it, what happens is that the torso just goes with the turn of the leg. But we want to separate the turn of the leg from the straightness of the torso. And so with that in mind, as you lift your heel, put up onto your heel and turn, pull very strongly with the opposite hand against that pelvic bone. So when you turn, and Emma, if this is bothering your knee, you can bend your knee a little bit as you're doing this, okay? All right, but actually that release of the pelvic bone should help the back of the knee pain a good bit, all right? Now, as you go down, again, don't go down if it puts too much strain on your knee, but as you go down, you really want to pull that pelvic bone forward so that the torso stays forward as you go down. And when I'm working with the strap, I can't go down as far. Okay. But it does show me how much more release and opening I can get in the groin. Okay? All right, then stand in Tadasana. You might need your strap for the second one. I'm not going to use it for the second one. So the same thing. We had a supine version, Supta 1, Parsvottanasana, and then we did Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Then we did Supta Parivrita Supta Padangusthasana, Parivrita Trikonasana, and then we stood on one leg and did Parivrita Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. All right, so now we've done Supta 2, triangle pose, and so we've got Parsvottanasana Hasta Padangusthasana next. Basically 3 different poses that we did and 3 different orientations in space. So here's the last one. So you're gonna bend up your right leg, either get the little toe side of the foot or get your big toe or use a strap. Move your knee and your elbow against each other as you move the knee out to the side. Press down into your left heel and kick your foot out for Parsvottanasana Hasta Padangusthasana. And go ahead and add your Trikonasana arm so it looks even more like Trikonasana. And bend the knee and come down, and then stand in Tadasana. All right, next one. So lift the leg up, get your big toe, keep your knee and your elbow against each other as you move your knee out to the side, and that'll help you move your femur bone in. And then kick your foot up higher than your knee. So you come into Parsvottanasana Hasta Padangusthasana. And then bend your knee up, and then come back to the center. Okay, so we did work a little bit on Padmasana at the beginning of class. We touched Padmasana also when we were laying down. So there's not really a two-legged version of standing in Padmasana. I guess the closest would be actually when you're in Padmasana and you're actually standing on your knees, but we're not going to go there. But there is Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana. So I'm back at the wall here because I like to lean against the wall when I'm getting my leg into Padmasana. Okay. Then take your right hand on the inside of your right knee, move the knee off to the side. Get the little toe side of the foot. If this bothers anyone's knees, your option is just to do Vrikshasana, okay? But here we are, just like we were working in seated, okay? Just like we were working supine. And now here we've got the same pose, the upright version of Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana. Then remember your foot actions from Padmasana. Press the little toe side of the foot into the thigh and move the outer ankle toward the inner ankle. That'll firm your outer hip, and then you lengthen from your inner groin to your inner knee. And then bring the leg back up and stand in Tadasana, and feel how that Padmasana action really helps release that front groin. All right, let's do the second side. So take your hand on the inside of your knee and move the knee out to the side. Again, that's the external rotation of the leg. And the hand is also just acts like a spacer on the knee. Then get the little toe side of the foot, turn your calf, turn your thigh, turn your foot, and put the little toe side of the foot all the way up on the top of the thigh. Again, if you aren't doing Padmasana, remember that it's just Vrikshasana. If you can't do Vrikshasana, you can do the straight leg one again. Then you'll come into Padmasana and remember your foot actions. Right? So little toe side of the foot against the thigh, outer ankle toward inner ankle, that firms the outer hip. Then you lengthen from the inner groin through the inner knee, and from the inner knee through the inner ankle. And you should feel some opening coming into the groin. All right, and then stand in Tadasana and observe the good effect of all of your standing pose work. Now, as Iyengar Yoga would have it, there's also, you could do all of those poses on your head also. Now, that is beyond the capacity of some of you, but not all of you, okay? So when we go into Shavasana, okay, those of you who want to do those same variations that we just did are welcome to do that. Okay? I'll go ahead and show that just so you can see, but we're going to do a downward facing dog first. And if you're not doing Shavasana at all, you can stay in downward facing dog. You could go into, remember, we've been working on Parsvottanasana a lot. Or you could be in Uttanasana, okay? All right, but let's all do the downward facing dog together. First, so you can feel, as you're in downward facing dog, just observe the effect of your downward facing dog. Or observe the effect of all of the standing poses and the twistings on your downward facing dog. So, I'm doing some basic actions, but I'm just mostly observing the effect. And what I'm observing is that the weight is nicely balanced between my feet. I can feel lots of nice length in the sides of the ribs, and I can feel my abdomen drawing in toward the spine. It doesn't mean that I couldn't improve my dog, I can. All right, but I just wanted to take a minute to feel the effect of this particular sequence. Now keep pushing your hands into the floor as you come up onto the balls of the feet. And like we've been working lately, come way, way, way up. So your feet almost look like they're doing a Chaturanga Dandasana. Then feel how that engages the quadriceps and the inner thighs. And then roll over the balls of the feet, through the arches, through the back front heel to the back heel, and pull yourself more deeply into downward facing dog. All right, then walk forward till your feet are right underneath your hips. Place your hands on your pelvic bones. Roll your shoulder bones back and come all the way up. Okay, I'm just going to show you the whole thing. And then when I watch you during Shavasana, I'm gonna let you do the variations that you want to do. Okay. So here's Shavasana, just like Supta Tadasana, just like Tadasana. All right. Here's Ekapada Shavasana, and it's just like Supta Padangusthasana 1. It's just like Parsvottanasana. It's just like Uttita Hasta Padangusthasana, right? Then we did the Parivrita, right? Which is just like Parivrita Supta Padangusthasana. And now that movement of the back leg that I had you work on, that's where this one really comes into play. Because the back leg is more at an angle rather than just straight up. Just like Trikonasana upside down, just like Parivrita Uttita Hasta Padangusthasana. Then the last one, just like Trikonasana, just like Supta Padangusthasana 2, is Parsva Ekapada Shirshasana. And you can even try putting one leg in Padmasana. You know, maybe some of you could actually get both legs into Padmasana. That actually is going pretty well for me for one shot at it today. Or you can just stay very sensibly in Shirshasana and not do any variations. You can do Shirshasana at the wall. If you're not a Shirshasana doer, you gotta remember you've got Prasarada Padottanasana, you've got Adho Mukha Svanasana, and you've got Uttanasana, okay? All right, so you're gonna do whatever you do when Shirshasana rolls around. I got some requests from some of my Castle Hill students to start doing some of the harder poses again, so that's why I'm letting you do the variations if you want to do them. All right. All right, but go ahead and come into Shirshasana or whatever you do when Shirshasana comes around. Lena. That looks good, Lena. Everyone straighten their legs regardless of what they're doing. Okay. That looks pretty good, Melinda. All right. Bob, that looks good. I think that, Bob, you can move your ribs back a little bit more. Uma, your legs are moving a little bit too close to the doorway, so make sure that your shoulders are lifting up. And yeah, that's better. You just fixed it. Ryan, that's fine. Chaya, that's also fine. Now remember, if you're doing headstand prep, you need to come down and rest, okay? All right, and then Karen and Paris, move your legs over to the left a little bit. Marissa, Radhika, Sugi, Marsha, Kristen, Ashwini, I'm sure y'all are all doing great. So I just am exhorting you to continue to do your work. Now, those of you who want to try any of the variations, you're welcome to try them. You could even just try one. Right? You could try bringing one leg down. You could try splitting your legs. If you're just in Shirshasana, again, keep pressing your there's no just. You just keep pressing your forearms down, keep lifting your shoulders up. So little bit, when you did that variation, you listed even more to the right. Right? Okay, so you have to really make sure that left, whatever leg is up, is really lifting up toward the ceiling. Gay, that's an excellent variation there too. Melinda, your shoulders are looking just fine. Lena, if you want to switch maybe to downward facing dog so you can just do something, but if you're comfy there, you're welcome to stay. It's just a long time with your legs out wide. Right, so make sure you're keeping your outer hips firm. A little bit more, Karen, back leg down. Yeah, and turn that back thigh in. All right, not bad, Uma. That looks pretty good. Pretty good, Melinda. All right. All right, so if you're tired, come down, okay? And just rest in Adho Mukha Virasana. And then those of you who are working on the variations, I'll give you another minute or so to cycle through them, but just in the next minute, be finishing your Shirshasana and then come down to rest in Adho Mukha Virasana. And people who are doing the headstand, replace Adho Mukha Virasana as just child's pose. You don't know the Sanskrit, it's okay. I'm supposed to say it in English too, I just forget to. All right. I like to remember after the Shirshasana, I really like to rest my forehead on a brick. And you can be doing that in Adho Mukha Virasana while we wait for the people to finish up. All right, then everyone come down and come into Adho Mukha Virasana. All right. All right, now there are also, all of those same poses are leg variations, except for the revolved ones. That's a little bit different. Okay, I mean, you can do the revolved stuff in Sarvangasana, but it's I won't say unorthodox. It's just, it's not normally taught. Okay, so if you are a regular Sarvangasana doer, Sarvangasana shoulder stand, and you want to do full shoulder stand, now is the time to set up your blankets. If you don't do shoulder stand, you can go, I'll give you a couple of options. One of them option is to use a bolster. If you have a bolster, if you don't have a bolster, you can fold your blankets up like a bolster. And you lay on the bolster and you slide off the bolster and you come into Setubandha. Your other option is just to do legs up the wall pose, okay? All right, so people who are setting up and doing Sarvangasana, now is the time to set that up. And again, I'll show you the variations and then you can all do it. So I personally, when I set up for a shoulder stand, I like to have 4 blankets and I like to stagger them a little bit in a stair step. It's just a little bit nicer on my own neck, okay? Then I also need a brick or a bolster as a launching pad for my buttocks. All right. Okay. I have my head here would be on a sticky mat, and I don't want it on a sticky mat. So what I'm gonna do is flip over my top blanket so I can have the back of my head on something nice and soft, okay? All right. You don't have to watch the demo, by the way. I mean, you can go ahead and go do your own thing and I'll check in on you. But if you do want to see, it's kind of a nice little theme. So here's Supta Tadasana, right? Here's Ekapada. Here's Parsva. You can even try going into Padmasana. And if you want to try the turning one, you can turn your legs and split your legs and try and turn, okay? It's a nice twist on the back, actually. All right, that's your job. So either Sarvangasana alone, whatever variations you want to do in Sarvangasana, or Setubandha off of the bolster, or legs up the wall pose, all right? Whatever you do when the shoulder stand time rolls around. Okay? Ryan, extend a little bit more through your inner heels. Marcia, I can't see it. Karen, if you can get your hands a little lower on your back and your thighs back. Melinda, if you can get, your hands more down on your shoulder blades, great. Okay. All right. And you're either in legs up the wall pose or laying off of your bolster. Uma, if you can get your legs more back towards your elbows, that would be great. Chaya, that's a nice looking chair halasana. Very good. So in Sarvangasana, particularly if you're working the variations, you really have to keep, after each variation, you're gonna come back and press your arms down, try and get your hands lower on your back. There you go, that looks good. Yeah, that's better, Melinda. And the more and more you can bring your arms down, great. Bob, your elbow, particularly your left one, looks like it's going a little wide. Sorry, Bob. All right. Yeah, I'm good. And if you wanted, that's it. Uma, you want to try and get your leg in Padmasana, you're welcome to. And if you're in a Setu Bandha off of the bolster, you can slide off of the bolster and come into legs up the wall pose. If you're in legs up the wall pose, go ahead and stay in legs up the wall pose. We're all going to do legs up the wall pose as our final pose. And we're going to do that same Baddha Konasana and foot on foot work. But I'll demonstrate that. So you, well, yeah, actually, no, I'll just talk you through it. You'll be able to do it. Okay, everyone's going to come into legs up the wall pose, making your way there. All right. So in the next minute, finish your variations and go ahead and come into legs up the wall pose. All right. So from legs up the wall pose, you're going to cross your legs just like we did in Swastik Asana at the beginning of class. You cross your legs first, Bob. Don't do the Padmasana yet. Just cross your legs. Yeah. Ryan, can you get your feet a little bit lower toward your buttocks? It's like at the beginning of class. It's just like simple cross-leg pose. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Uma, if it doesn't hurt your knee, cross your legs rather than doing Baddha Konasana. Or maybe you're already in foot on foot. Okay. All right. So that's Swastik Asana, right? That looks good, Cliff and Gay. Okay, you may need to navigate your knee space a little bit, Cliff and Gay, for this next one. Now slide your legs into foot on foot. Okay, so put one foot on top of the arch of the other foot. And I get, personally, when I do that one, I get a lot of release in the inner groin. I would say this particular action, the foot action, is one of the big things that led me to being able to do Padmasana. All right, now you just slide your top foot onto the top of the bottom thigh, like so you're doing half Padmasana, right? You can stay there, you can stay in foot on foot, you can go back to Swastik Asana. And then those of you who can, you may be able to, your bottom foot, okay, move it up on the wall so that your top knee can go back toward the wall. And then if you can, bring yourself into Padmasana. That looks good, everyone. Go ahead and do so. Or you can just be in Baddha Konasana, another option, or half Padmasana. Or you can just say, forget this madness, and I'm just going to stay in legs up the wall pose. All right, and then undo your Padmasana, and everyone stretch your legs up straight, and make sure that you're really engaging your quadriceps well. Good. All right, now second side. Okay, so bring the opposite leg in and go through all the stages. Start off with Swastik Asana, because even if you can really easily do Padmasana, okay, each of these actually gives a slightly different opening in the hips and the groin. Okay. And sometimes some people who are really good Padmasana doers actually get more opening from some of the earlier poses than just in Padmasana. Okay, now slide out to foot on foot. That gives you lots of nice opening in the groin. And you can stay in Swastik Asana, you can stay in foot on foot. From foot on foot, now you move into half Padmasana, if you can, or you stay on foot on foot. And then those of you who can go from half Padmasana to full Padmasana, go ahead and do so. It's a lot better on that side, Ryan. It's good. Right. Nice, Melinda. Well, got a high Padmasana percentage here. It's pretty good. All right. All right, and those of you who I can't see, know that I'm with you here in spirit, exhorting you to firm your outer hips and release your inner groin. All right, and then everyone stretch your legs back up straight into Supta Padangusthasana, sorry, into legs up the wall pose. All right, then bend your knees and push yourself a little bit away from the wall. And roll to your side and just watch for a second. I'm up on my blankets just because I didn't want to move them, okay? So that's kind of optional, but it is actually going to, it actually feels nice. I'm on a little bit of support and it feels nice and soft on my back, but that's not really the point. Okay, but now we're gonna try going for full Padmasana away from the wall. So the first stage is just to bring one leg into Padmasana. The next stage is to pull your bottom leg in, and you'll feel a nice release in the outer hip. Then all this kind of happens at once. Your right knee moves away, your left leg externally rotates, and you just see if you can bring the other leg into Padmasana. And then you can either stay like you were doing a seated Padmasana, or you can try to release your legs a little bit down toward the floor. And I'm up on some height, which is actually helping me get a little bit of release in the groin more because the edge of my blankets is actually tucking my tailbone in for me. Okay, so that's the grand finale for today. Okay, trying to get into Padmasana away from the wall. All right, okay, ready? And if you're not doing it and you just said, I've had enough, you also could just be in Supta Baddha Konasana, that's what I'm doing right now, okay, with my legs out wide and my feet together. That would be an excellent option, okay, if you don't want to do any more Padmasana. Okay? All right, so those of you who can, you're going to bring your right leg up into half Padmasana. That's stage one. Okay. Stage two, you have to get your right foot, Ryan, higher on your thigh in order to go into Padmasana. Other way, toward your torso, away from the knee. Yes, there you go. Okay, that's it. Okay, then those of you who can, you're going to bend the left knee up and pull the leg in. That releases the groin. That looks pretty good, gang. Cliff, your Padmasana class is already paying off. All right, and then if you can bring your foot all the way into Padmasana, do so. Yeah, that's Ryan. Move your knee. Yeah, I'd say you're close. You're getting there, but it might be a little bit too much force. Okay, and then if you want to lower your legs all the way down to the floor, you can do so. There you go. I think you can bend the knee, Ryan, toward. Yeah, you can let your left leg, Ryan, flop a little bit more. Yeah, just point the foot. There you go. And then come all the way up. All right, before you come out and stretch your legs up for a second, I just want to show again the what works for me as a technique, okay, before you do your second side, okay? All right, I think you can see my legs. Okay, everyone's got, as far as I can tell, everyone's got the first leg into Padmasana, so that's good, okay? So when I bend the second leg in, okay, it releases the groin, okay? And I'm also trying to move my opposite leg away. Okay? And then, so Ryan, what you're not doing is you're kind of not bending this leg enough. You want to have it more like this. And then when you bring the leg in, it works a little bit better, okay? I'll do it on the other side again so y'all can see better. Okay, so this is my first leg. So the trick of it is your first knee, or the knee that's in first, has to move away as you externally rotate your other leg. And you see how I'm moving my foot and my knee toward each other? Okay. Just that action, foot and knee toward each other, releases the groin, okay? So if you can't quite get it, like if it's too much strain to pull that leg on top, you can just practice moving the knee and the foot toward each other, and that'll open the groin a lot, okay? But in, like, this is my tighter side, and I'm not as good as doing the foot and the knee thing, okay? But it opens the groin still, okay? All right, give it one more go. Second side. Again, remember, you know, if you've had enough, you can be in Supta Baddha Konasana. You can just go ahead and say, you know, she's almost at Shavasana, I'm just going to try a different Shavasana. You could even go back to Supta Padangusthasana too. Whatever works for you. That looks good, Bob. Just make sure you're drawing up from your outer knee to your outer hip and lengthening through your underground. That's pretty good, Melinda. Good. Yeah, that's it, Ryan. You're getting the hang of it. Yeah, that's good. You see, can you feel how that's releasing the groin, just moving the knee and the foot toward each other? That looks good too, Karen. Okay. All right, everyone come out, and we're all gonna wobble over to our mat and do Shavasana. Okay. Remember to stretch your legs out. If you need a blanket underneath your head, be sure to take one. Yeah, so I can't, Lena, you might, I don't know, can't tell if there's a blanket behind your head, but you probably want one. Yeah, you maybe even, yeah, that's it. Good, pillow's perfect, that'll be perfect. Yeah, either one. Yeah, some of you are putting stuff underneath your knees, that's completely fine. And just settle in. Close your eyes. And before you just go into the Shavasana state, we worked a lot on the hips today, and we worked a lot with rotating the torso. And so just see if you can feel the effect of this particular sequence and this kind of work on your Shavasana. Maybe you feel more openness in the front of the groin than usual. Maybe it's a little bit more freedom in the back and when you're laying flat on the floor. I find after Padmasana groin work, because my groins are so tight, I find that when I can get some opening in the front groin, it's almost like this flooding sensation of openness comes throughout the whole body. And it relaxes my brain also. And I find more ability to draw my awareness more deeply in. Observe what's true for you. Then let go of that observation for now. And let your eyes release into the back of your head. Let your tongue release away from the roof of your mouth. Unclench your jaw. Let the back of the throat release. Let the sides of the throat release. Let the base of the throat release. Let your ears draw inward. Completely relax the features of your face. Become quiet within. Patanjali defines yoga as the practice of stilling the fluctuations of the mind. He goes on to say, when that happens, we come to dwell in the seat of our own true splendor. That's the freedom that yoga offers us, that yoga practice gives us the potential to create or find for ourselves. That inner state of bliss. The inner freedom that is untouched ultimately by any bind of circumstance in our life. Be in that space. Abide there. And from that seat of your true splendor, inhale. Consciously use your inhalations to bring that awareness of your true self, that awareness of your own inner state of freedom with you as you go about your work in the world. Place your hands on your rib cage. Bend your knees. Roll over to your right side and use your hands to push yourself back up. Sit up straight and tall. If you want, those of you who have Padmasana, you can end in Padmasana. Those of you who have whatever you have, sit. Observe the effect of your work. In gratitude to the benefit you receive from your practice of yoga, in gratitude to the people I have the opportunity to learn and study and practice yoga with, and in gratitude to the lineage of Hatha Yoga itself, as practiced by BKS Iyengar, reaching back to the sages of India, and down through a line of teachers and students to you, here on the mat, in Austin, Texas, or Paris, France, or wherever you happen to be in the world, through the miracle of Zoom. Namaste.